everyone. Thank you so much for joining this episode of Sister Social, episode 2, Speaking Your Truth. And this is a space of healing, a space of learning strategies that you can hopefully implement in your life too. And maybe also just connecting or resonating, resonating with some stories or topics that I talk about during this podcast. So I'm super excited. I wanted to discuss this topic specifically because I feel like that has been something that I've been learning to speak my own truth throughout my whole life. I think, especially as a child, that was something that at least I felt. From other people's perspective, it might be different, but from my perspective, I just didn't feel like my voice mattered. Like no one really cared about what my opinion was in the first place. So I just felt like quiet. I felt like I don't need to really even say anything because, first of all, it feels like no one's going to listen to me in the first place. Which, as a kid, I think that does sound kind of sad. And it's also important to recognize that those experiences that you've had as a kid, at least this is what I feel and believe, is they were there to help shape the person that I am. And I feel and sometimes I know that the universe is giving us those opportunities in our life to be able to recognize the power that we have. So that's why it's so important to have these moments to stop, connect with yourself, and really reflect on what lessons or what opportunities is life giving me right now to be able to challenge myself and to upgrade and up level, because those opportunities that we think, why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening? It's the universe giving you the opportunity to grow through this, to up level into the version that you know deep down that you can be, and the universe knows that you can be. It's just believing in yourself. And part of speaking your truth too is you got to know what your truth is in the first place, honey. And if you're not connecting with yourself and taking those moments to stop, reflect, and see what comes up, I find that it might be a little more challenging for you to understand some of what your truth is in situations that you're presented. So take the time and the space to really connect with yourself. And that's going to look different for everyone. I mean, a lot of people that are close to me in my life, they know I love meditating. I can sit there and I can just have those moments with myself and be able to reflect on what's coming up. That might not be the case for everyone, which that's okay too. My journey didn't start with meditating. It started with moving mindfulness, which was going outside, taking the time to sit and reflect on what's coming up and just being present. Also, journaling. I love journaling. And you can get such cute journals too. Come on. Come on. We're in the era of investing in ourselves, okay? So invest in yourself. Take the time to put in the effort because you are worth the effort. Ah! It's true. You're worth the effort. So, no more excuses on why you can't do something and just start doing the damn thing, okay? Because you're not going to know what feels right. You're not going to know what feels good for you to connect to yourself if you're not exploring those different things. Like another thing too that really helped me connect with myself was roller skating. I felt like there was nothing else I could think of but being in that moment and really connecting with what is coming up. And that's part of it too. Like movement is so healing. One of my friends actually that I met online, she's amazing. Her name is Liv, and she has her own business as well. I'm so hopeful that I will be able to collaborate with her. But one thing that she said was, and I'm not sure where she's got this from, so hopefully I can connect with her on that. But your emotions is energy in motion. So creating those moments for that energy to move through you is an opportunity for you to connect with that and to also let it go. And that's the whole thing about you speaking your truth. You got to let the energy flow. And that could be through writing, that could be through singing, that could be through movement. There's so many different ways. So it's time to connect with yourself. That's the goal. Connect with yourself. Because why? Uh-huh. I hope you said it. You are worth the effort. uh, yeah. And another thing that I want to read you is this little quote from this book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, which I just pulled to a random page and I think will be a good topic to discuss on speaking your truth. And so I'm going to jump into this part. So, the law that we're going to review is the law of least effort, which love it. I'm just going to read a little section of an example that they give. But so how it goes is everything upsetting becomes an opportunity for the creation of something new and beautiful. Even every tormentor or tyrant becomes your teacher. The relationships you have attracted in your life are precisely the ones you need at this moment. There's a hidden meaning behind all events that is serving your own evolution. And if you choose to interpret reality in this way, then you'll have many teachers and many opportunities to evolve. A third law of, or a third way to put the law of least effort into action is practice defensiveness. This means relinquishing the need to convince other of your point of view. I think that's huge because I was mentioning this earlier. These opportunities, these situations, these people that come up in our life for us to be able to practice these skills of, for example, speaking our truth is so significant. And also, speaking our truth doesn't have to come from a place of, I need to defend myself, which I think there are some cases where, people do need to be put in their place. I just have to say it. Like, some people just need to know, like, you do not fuck with me, honey. Like, like, don't step up to this because I'm not the one. And you're going to learn that fast. And that's just part of their learning history. Like, they just need to learn that you're not the one, and I'm never going to do that again. And we can also find those moments to practice how to be defensiveless. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. we can find the opportunities to not be defensive in those moments, because I don't have to explain my perspective. I don't have to explain myself or my reasoning for this. This is how I feel. This is my boundary that I'm setting with you. If you don't like it, then I don't think we need to be in each other's lives. And that's okay too. And I think this is where, when we speak our truth, where there's some of that resistance that comes in with confrontation, which, if you haven't listened to the podcast episode with my friend Carmen, we discussed this topic, confrontation. So check it out, look into it more, learn some strategies there of how to confront some of these people, places, things in your life that you need to confront. But in that, I think that's where a lot of our fear comes from too, is confronting these people and setting these boundaries, letting them know this is not, I'm not letting this happen again. But that's where it's so important, because the more that you do that, you speak your truth, you set these boundaries, the more your reality and your world is starting to reflect the people that respect your boundaries, the people that listen to your world, to your words. And you'll start to see that more and more. One of my mentors, she actually gave me such an amazing quote. And I'm not sure if she's referencing this from somewhere else. It's a possibility. But she told me that what you frequently see is your frequency. So those are, and my interpretation of that is really showing like what our vibration is at and what is it attracting into our universe. So if you think about it, take that moment to really reflect, to see what the universe is reflecting back to you, and take those opportunities to understand what the steps are moving forward. And if you're like, I have no idea what I could possibly do. What did we talk about before? Take the time to sit with yourself, to reflect, to understand what's coming through. And you got to be patient with the process. If you go in expecting to have an answer right away, I think you're going to get pretty frustrated. So don't even have the expectation that something comes up right then and there. Just take the moment, allow it to come up, and see what the answers present themselves. Because I can't tell you the amount of times that I go into like a meditation or I'm reflecting on stuff and I feel like I'm not getting a clear answer. It's not until I start to do something else, I start to engage in a different activity, that the answers will start to just pop up and start to flow. Which, if you didn't know, that's something too that I support people with, on learning their intuitive abilities, connecting with that side of them. And that is something where my spiritual intuitive abilities come up with clairaudient, which means this is this is your, so clairaudient means, so the clair part means clear, audient means hearing. And sometimes when you experience that, you might hear something in your head, like a word. I get songs all the time, and or you're hearing something outside of your body. So, for example, like you say something that's like a revelation or like right on the nose, and then you hear a ding from your phone. Or if you look at one of my videos that I posted, I think earlier in August or so, I talk about how loud my spiritual team is. They like brought big helicopters as like ways to confirm some of the things that I was touching on. So, I'll also give you another example too that recently happened with my clairaudient, which was I was in Santa Barbara hanging out with one of my friends, and I was about to leave to go to my sister's to go to Vegas to celebrate her birthday. And out of nowhere, as I'm packing, I have this song come up in my head. It's the Shania Twain song. It's the Man, I Feel Like a Woman. And I just started singing that out of nowhere, right? And I get to I get to like turning to everyone. I'm like, "Did you sing that song? Were you playing that song? Why is that song in my head? Why did that come up?" Like I need to figure out why this even happened in the first place. And this is a prime example of I didn't have the answer right then and there. But when I got to Vegas, I heard that song at a bar. I heard that song while walking around. Like it was just everywhere I was going. And when I really listened to the lyrics and like really connected, well, why? I realized that it was me reflecting that in the universe and the universe validating me as well to let all my inhibitions go. Be that person that doesn't give a fuck. Like, we're just here for a good time. Like, I'm here with my girls, honey. I'm here with my girls. And I did really feel and sit in that energy, like this version of me that presented more feminine. Like, I wore this beautiful dress, I wore skirts. I let my little nipples show. Ooh, she's scandalous. But I don't think that's something I ever allowed myself to do, especially as a kid, because I grew up in a space where I felt criticized, I felt judged, I felt like I wasn't safe because of like the hate that I would receive even at school, just based off of my voice and how I spoke. Like people would label me as gay and they would call me slurs. Yeah. So as a kid, that was just so hard for me to experience. And looking back at it, it still doesn't make it okay. And I don't forgive those people for doing things like that. But I do recognize now more than ever, I don't give a damn. Like, you're going to call me that? Okay, honey, but look at me. But look at me, now look at you. Like, if this is something that is sparking some kind of hate in you, I that's not about me. That's not about me. It's about you. What are you feeling? Hmm? Do you feel threatened because you can't honor your truth? Ooh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you feel threatened because you can't live as your authentic self because you put yourself in so many boxes that you don't know who you are? So now you have to hate on someone else for living their authentic truth and speaking their authentic truth. Dang, dang. Where's the chime? Where's the where's the clear audio confirmation? Because that is the truth. I learned that and I think that has helped me really step in my power of like what you're saying about me. First of all, you probably don't even know me. Second of all, you don't know what I've been through and where I've been. So how am I gonna let you tell me what my truth is? when you don't even know who I am, when you haven't even taken the opportunity to learn who I am. Yeah. And this is where I feel, if you've been seeing my posts on Instagram, I talk about my shadow self, Kaka, which I could go into a whole nother podcast about why I named her that. And I'll get there. But that's where that like energy comes from, of that version of me that's like, you think you scare me? Oh, you think you scare me? Like, I'm standing in my power, honey. And if anything, you should be scared of what I'm about to dish out at you because you're not ready. It's kind of like the Doja Cat song where she's like, "How my demons live." hmm Because there's so many parts of us that are taught to be scared of that version that's like, "Oh, I know my worth. I know my worth. I know what I bring to the table. I know my value. I don't you don't have to tell me how valuable I am," which I love the validation. Keep going. No, that's Brenda. That's Brenda. She's like, but like tell me. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't give a damn. Oh man. So, anyways, I digressed. Thank you for going on that journey with me. Thank you for listening to these experiences that have validated me and speaking my truth more and reflecting that out to the universe. And I hope that encourages you to start to speak your truth more as well. And back to what I was originally saying is the messages might not be immediate. They might not be so in your face initially. So the more and more that you connect with yourself, the more and more that you're creating these spaces to listen, the more you're going to start to notice those signs, those synchronicities. So be patient, allow it to come up. And also, when speaking your truth, I'm not saying to like go go off the deep end and like confront your biggest, most challenging demon that needs to be confronted. Always practice discernment, meaning what feels right to me. I could tell you what to do, what to say, but does that feel right in your body? Does that feel like, actually, yeah, I want to do that? And that's something you can learn and practice through connecting with yourself more. One of my mentors, which I love, her name's Alexis Petty. I love her. I love her. Check out her stuff. She's amazing. And one thing that I remember seeing one of her TikToks on was connecting with your body's yes versus your body's no. Meaning, like, before even jumping into situations, practice knowing what feels like a yes in your body and practice understanding what no feels like, which a lot of the times people say like your no feels like you're constricting, like your body's tightening, feel uncomfortable. Where your yes, it feels exciting, it feels energetic. Confirmation. There's a lot of helicopters, or I mean airplanes right now. I hear them. So that means we're on the money, honey. We're on the money, honey. We on the mini, honey. So really take the moments to like understand what your body is. And that's why I'm so big on like make sure you're stretching, make sure you're moving your body, cuz if your body if you're not in your body, it's going to be a little more challenging to receive some of these messages that you are working on receiving. Um, so, yeah, practice discernment, understand what feels right to you, and start small. This is crazy. Okay, my journal just turned to a page. Wow. What? Bruh. Okay, this is crazy. It turned to a page where I talk about this, and a card just flipped over. All right, all right, all right. I'm getting there. Okay, so it says, a part of my inner child, the one that felt like no one cared about what I said. Yeah, kind of spoke about that earlier. Like my voice didn't matter, so I learned ways to use my voice, setting boundaries, learning how to sing, standing up for myself, expressing myself. Yeah, there's so many ways. So I like that I provided examples of ways that I've learned how to speak my truth and connect with that. And it's like those different categories too, like setting boundaries. I'm also exploring my voice and speaking my truth in playful ways, like singing. Like that was something I remember my singing coach being like, you need to give your voice more freedom. Like you're not allowing yourself to go to that point because you're already telling yourself, either in your head or there's some kind of belief that you can't get to a certain level or you can't sing this certain note. Don't tell yourself that. Just let it happen. Let it flow. Explore it. Be curious. So that could even be the first step too. Be playful with your voice. See what she's able to do, honey. Okay. And trust me, once you start to open what they call your throat chakra, it it starts to flow more too. And this is where I love like the spiritual spaces because they talk about the throat chakra too. Sometimes it's overactive, meaning it's too open. She's too open. Come on. Okay, actually, I won't say what let's say. Never mind, never mind. Not speaking my truth there. Not speaking. Discernment. That's what we call it. Discernment, discernment. Well, they say in a friend space. It's all part of the journey. Wherever you're finding yourself being fearful, meet that part of you with love. Because I've noticed when I started to face those parts of me that I deemed scary, that I almost felt like was the boogeyman under the bed. When I confronted it, it was something that was just a part of me that needed to be heard. So give space to those parts of you. They deserve to be heard and utilize the resources you have. Invest in yourself. Work with coaches. Work with mentors. See a therapist. See a therapist. I don't know. I felt like I needed to say it twice because some people, some people do need a therapist because some of it is so thick to go through by yourself. And reminder, you're not supposed to do it alone. You're not. And I love this part because speaking about therapists, you got options, honey. There's so many options and abundance and resources out there. It just, you got to take the time to really be open to all the abundant possibilities of your life path and reminded of all the unlimited options because life is a buffet and you allow yourself to choose whatever makes you happiest without limiting thoughts like, you can't put mac and cheese on a baked potato. Stop telling yourself you can't. explore it, and see what feels right. You're not gonna know until you try it. It's like telling a kid to like try this piece of food, right? You're not gonna know that you like it unless you like it. And I know too a lot of like I work in the spaces with kids too, and someone was like, "You have to try it at least 10 times before you like it, before you really know if you like it." And I'm like, "Where's the research behind that?" Oh gosh, girl. These cards I pulled even before having this conversation. So I'm reading these cards that are just coming up. And one of them says patience. Congratulations, you've been granted more patience. You may start using it right away or much, much later. Waiting for a long time is the sort of option now afforded to you by the greater patience. Can you believe it? Look at it. You're still reading and you haven't started getting annoyed yet. Imagine how this patience will transform your life. Imagine how easy it will be to go to the post office. To the post office. Girl, imagine how easy it would be to go to the DMV. Man. So, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. Be patient on your journey. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because we're so conditioned to be like, oh, I need to get to this point and this point and go here and go there. We're moving too fast to really recognize all of the progress that you've made so far. When I look back at where I was as a kid, even where I was like someone moving out of my hometown to go to college, I've grown so much. I wouldn't even recognize the person that I am today if I saw myself. I'd be like, bitch, is that you? No. I would never, never have thought of growing my hair out, wearing more feminine clothes, and I do air quotes because us humans, we just tie gender to certain clothing, I feel. And wearing makeup, like, that's other ways that I'm speaking my truth through the expression of how I'm presenting to the world as well. There's so many ways to explore your truth. It's just starting somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. And this next card that I pulled, these cards are really about surrendering. So this one says surrender resentments. Holding on to resentments only poisons you. Try to forgive others for their shortcoming and keep moving forward towards positive situations in your life. Yeah, I think that's really applicable to this topic in general because there might be parts of you that feel, damn, why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't I start speaking my truth sooner? Why didn't I start expressing myself? Why didn't I start doing the things that I wanted to do and not give a damn? Well, honey, you needed to go through all those lessons and all those opportunities for you to get to the point. Yeah, for you to get to the point that you are in your life right now. So remember, you needed to go through all of these things to get to the point in your life right now to be this version that you are right now. And now you know, honey, I'm never going back. I'm never doing that ever again. Oh, okay, I just picked up this card and it flew, but I vigorously threw it. And the next card is surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Damn. See, I knew when I pulled these cards, I was like, they're going to hit. They're going to hit, honey. And some people aren't meant to be in your life anymore. If they feel, especially depending on how they respond to you speaking your truth and being your authentic self, it's not your job to explain to them why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't understand, that's okay. You're not meant to understand. You're just not meant to understand. And it's okay to let those people go, because the the moment that you let them go, it's also a way for you to value or to sit in the value that you bring. Because I think a lot of us, we don't understand the value in people being around us, having access to what we bring to this world. And it's really a privilege to be around you. You bring so much value. That sends a big message to someone that, oh shit, I need to get my shit together. I need to get my act together because I just lost this person because I didn't respect their boundaries, because I didn't give them the space to express themselves. And I call that a tower moment, honey. I call that a tower moment. People need to know that's your power too, by being like, I'm holding this boundary, and you might think that I'm being overreactive, I'm being oversensitive. But honey, that's not my truth. That's what you're labeling me as a convenience to stay in my life and for me to dim my light, because other people can't dim your light. It's you choosing to dim your light to make other people feel comfortable. So don't dim your light anymore. If they're not comfortable, okay, move out of the way. Because, honey, I don't have time for this anymore. 29 years old, damn it. Get out of here. Get out of here. Scram. I'm like this old man. Like, I just picture this old man being like, get off my lawn. Ah, wow. And this last little surrender card is surrender stress. Take few deep breaths. Exhale the tension you've built up in your body and let the stress go as you come back to your center. Honestly, let's do that now. Okay, if you're driving and listening to this, you can still connect to your breath, just don't close your eyes. Everyone else that's just listening to this podcast, watching the episode on YouTube, I want you to just sit in a comfortable seat and start to connect to your breath. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. And just start to notice how you're feeling in this moment. Taking these intentional breaths in through your nose, holding it at the top, and exhale, release it all out the mouth. And I want you to imagine yourself releasing any tension, any stress in your body. We'll do one more breath together. In through your nose, holding it at the top, and exhale, release out the mouth. just start to notice how you're feeling right now. And if you need to, go ahead and take another deep breath. Let it out. Let it go. Let it flow. When you're ready, you can come back to the space, and these are moments where you can stop and reflect, connect, see what feels right. And even before you speak your truth, if you start to feel that tension in your body, stop, take a moment, take a breath, release it, let it go, let it flow. Because fear is you holding on to your breath, really. There's parts of you that are holding on to that tension. I think I read that in this book called The Big Leap. And I hope that you enjoyed that too. Okay, we're going to go back to the cards. Yes, I love this card too. If you're not watching on YouTube, this one says, I'm grateful for the earth, because going outside and taking these cleansing breaths like we just practiced right now, taking these moments and opportunity to just look at the beauty that we're surrounded by. Don't take that for granted as well. It's like the tree, the branches on the tree, they just go in the directions that they wanted to go. And that's the same with you. Speaking your truth, being your authentic self. Allow yourself to grow the way that you need to grow without any judgment, without any opinions of how it should be, because comparison's the thief of joy. And I love this next card that I pulled. You are worthy. Just like we were mentioning earlier, you are worth the effort. You are worth the effort. You are worth the time and the space to explore yourself, because the more that you devote yourself to this version of you that you are already, it's just taking time for you to acknowledge this version. It's going to unite you with the infinite possibilities that the universe has for you. Just like that card, and this card right here, if you can't see it, it talks about these opportunities that we are given. We have so much abundance in our life. It's just choosing to focus on that. And also, this last card that I pulled, it says, forgiveness brings freedom. Forgive yourself. You don't necessarily need to forgive the other person, but take the time to forgive yourself in any ways that you're holding judgment about yourself. I could have done better here. I could have done this. Yeah, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, you know? There are so many things that we could have done, but that's in the past now. You're right here in this moment. Give yourself grace. And I'm going to pull this last card. And if you can't see, it's really beautiful. It's like this person with rainbow around their body, and they're like moving forward, which in itself is a message. Just keep moving forward. And this quote says, whether you believe you can do a thing or not, you're right. Question, when do I feel the most confident? Affirmation, I believe in myself and my abilities. So I think this is right on the nose too. Because if you're telling yourself that you can't do something, then yeah, the universe is going to reflect that. If you're telling yourself you can't speak your truth, you can't be your authentic self, you can't dress that way, what are people going to think? You can't sing in front of people. Your voice isn't perfect. Okay, then that's going to be your reality. Are you happy with that reality? Are you satisfied with that reality? If not, it's time to shift your reality. Because something that I've learned that your reality can shift in any moment. You can be in a whole different timeline. You can be in a whole different situation that you weren't even expecting. So the only way to get to that is to go through it. Yes. Okay. I'm going to take this moment, though, to thank you all for joining me, for listening to this. I hope that you found value in anything that I said so far and what my journey has been with speaking my truth and hopefully supporting your journey on speaking your truth, becoming your authentic self. Thank you, universe, for this special moment, for allowing me to hold this sacred space with people that I love, people that I care for supporting people on their journey. I'm so grateful for these moments. All right. Thank you, everyone, again for joining this podcast, for tuning in on YouTube if you're watching here. I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon.